Hello, my name is Ummu Bradley Thomas, and I am the author of the Polish to Pay series. And I'm fortunate enough that my 14th book is coming, and it's being published on Amazon. Client, pay me what I'm worth. And so I had a number of people saying, you're talking about client, pay me what I'm worth. That's what the book is about. But how is it that you do that, get paid what you're worth, and you work for someone else? And so how do you get more when you're on a job? Well, I'd like you to know that your paycheck is for doing 100%. And there's some people who, if you give them a grade, it's A, B, C, D, F. F if you're in Philadelphia, E if you're out here in Maryland, and that's a failure. They perform on a lower level. And so if you're performing on an F level or E level or D level, then you are probably on a track to get out the door. You're probably on some sort of reform or repair track to get out the door. And you can still turn that around by doing the very best that you can do while on the job. So use that feedback and constructive criticism that you've been given along the way and correct it. Some people get feedback and they're angry, they're upset, they don't want to correct it. I am here to tell you that you can change it around, and they can forget about how you were. They will just pass it off as this person had a bad time or a rough patch in their life, and they are back on track. Now, if you're performing at C level, that's the letter C, then you are mediocre. You are average. You don't stand out. You don't stand out in a bad way. You don't stand out in a good way. You are just there collecting a paycheck, and people can tell. You're not contributing extra. You're not doing extra. You're not going the extra mile. You're saying to yourself, that's not in my job description. You let other people know it's not in your job description, and you are just there. You don't really care about the company. You're not a cheerleader. You're just there to get your check, and you are begrudgingly talking about why is it that you don't get more. Well, you know why. You're not trying to do more. So why expect more? And if in this particular case, it probably is not your work performance, but more of your work attitude and how you view your job and your assignment. And if I feel that if you're at the C level where you just feel stagnant, then it's likely time for you to move on, certify yourself in something, take a few extra courses, get refreshed, and start anew, and create a much better, happier home elsewhere, because it's likely time for you to move on. If you're performing at B level, there's absolutely no advancement in that. You would likely get an increase in your salary. If there's a cost of living increase, you'll get it. Okay, so that's the way you'll get your increase, because if you're performing at B level, I mean, where's the reward in that? I mean, honestly, you know that you are outperforming those C people, and you're nowhere near those D, E, F people, but you're not at peak performance. Your numbers are solid, but they're not wow. You're bringing in X amount, but it's just where you should be almost for the job that you're at. You're not at 100%. You're at 89 to 93%. Okay, so you're not at capacity. And if you're performing at A level, guess what? You are comfortable in your job. You haven't done anything extra. You've only done what it is that you were hired to do if you're performing at A level. If you're a student, you're performing at where you should be. So if you're an A student, will that, if you were in school, would that say that you are in mentally gifted class? No. If you're performing at A level, it just means you're excellent at where you are. You're doing exactly what it is that you are supposed to do. You're at grade level, but you're not going to get skipped. Now, if you're performing at the level A plus and above, where you should be skipped, you're in 5th grade, but you belong in 6th grade. These are the people who are performing, are doing their best, have the best attitude. They're company cheerleaders. They are not just doing it to get ahead. They're doing it because they have a personal belief that what they do, it must be done in excellence. They go the extra mile. They are working for themselves. They are working for purpose. And so they're doing it because that's who they are, and that's the quality of work that they provide. And these are the people who, guess what? You don't have to say, I deserve more. You don't have to expect and stamp your feet to get more. Trust me, people notice. And when they are able to increase you, when the budget sees fit for your increase, when an opening comes up that you can slide into, you will be at the top crest for that. And that's how you get your raise. So a lot of people think that they just deserve it because they've been there for X amount of years. They deserve it because 10 years ago they were the top performer. They deserve it because, oh, I'm at work on time all the time and I do my work. No, you have to be exceptional. And I do believe that anything you do, you should be exceptional. So if you're looking for increases and raises, then you have to go about your work in a very exceptional way to get noticed. And you don't have to do a banner or get a highway sign for people to notice, because it will say it. It will say it in your presentation. It will say it in your attitude. It will say it in your sales numbers. It will say it in the type of work that you deliver. And you will get it. And guess what? If you don't, you are so marketable. Those things and that attitude and what you have, you can clearly move on without a problem and get your increase when you do that. But I bet that you are so valuable that people would not want to let you go. This is Ummu Bradley Thomas, and feel free to contact me about increases when you're on the job. And I know my book that's coming up, Client Pay Me What I'm Worth, and people are wanting, employer pay me what I'm worth. And so those are my 2 cents on that. And you may disagree with me, but feel free to call me, 410-820-8700. Ummu Bradley Thomas calling you. Call me, okay, here in Maryland, or log on at www.FreddieBellJones.com. Thank you.